Okay, what's up? I I'm really nervous. I've been stalling for so long now recording this video. Um, I'm just pretty nervous, so bear with me. I'm sorry if I look weird and if I'm not looking at the camera most of the time. I don't know, like I'm so out of practice. Not that I was barely like I wasn't really in practice to begin with, but it's been a really long time since I recorded a video. And here I am right now recording one, I guess. So, thank you for clicking on this. Okay, so recently I did read a few series that are like already completed. I read like one longer one, a few shorter ones, but these are going to be series that are still ongoing, still publishing. Uh, these are the three that I caught up with, I guess. So that's why the title is what it is, right? So the first one that these aren't in no particular order of like which I like the most, at least whatever. As this is just the three I read. I'm not ranking them against one another at all. The first one is Record of Ragnarok. So good. Shumatsu no Valkyrie or some crap. Like it has a really weird Japanese name. It has Valkyrie in it. I actually now I'm starting to wonder what the name literally translates to, but it has Valkyrie in it. Whatever. Record of Ragnarok. You've probably heard of it. If you haven't, it's great. If you're into shonen, well, it's not shonen, right? It's seinen. Yeah, I guess it'd be seinen. It's more graphic. It's seinen. It's basically tournament arc, the manga. It's so cool. It's so hype. Basically, if you don't know the plot, it consists of a different take on Ragnarok. Where basically the gods have decided to get rid of humanity, and one of the Valkyries stands up and is like, yo, don't get rid of humanity, give them a chance, let's make a tournament out of this, fuck it, you know. And you have human contestants, humans from any point in time in human history, so the strongest humans against the strongest gods, basically. So it's very bizarre. The premise is very bizarre, but it works really well because it's fiction and it's action and it's awesome. It's really cool. It has great art. It's so good. The art's so unique. It's very out there. Like it like the art at the beginning kind of shocks you, some of the facial expressions, but the deeper you get into the story, you realize that that's what makes that artist. That's what it gives. That's their touch. It's really cool. You start appreciating it more the deeper you get into the story. It's very self-aware that it's a tournament arc. It uses it to its advantage. It's super hype. As soon as a match ends, you give it like one chapter and the next one starts. It's really cool. It's so cool. And you would think that you'd always be on the human side because you want the underdog to win, but it throws you a little curveball like later in the series, and it actually makes you root for the god. It's cool. It's a fun series, and it's just testosterone everywhere. It's just some buff dudes, martial arts. It's so cool. It's so cool. If you're into that, just turning off your brain and enjoying an action-packed series, I recommend it. It's great. The next one would be Black Clover. I almost forgot there, even though I have it written over here. I don't know why I didn't look at it. Black Clover. I've had a history with the series. I caught up to it about 2 years ago, around when it was at 180ish chapters. I caught up to it. I enjoyed it. It was really fun. It was just a fun read. Nothing like it didn't blow my mind, but also didn't really disappoint either. It delivered. It was cool. But the thing with Black Clover is at the beginning it's very it's following a lot of like typical shonen tropes, you know, like your Naruto, your Bleach, your One Piece. It has those typical tropes, and it doesn't really make a name of itself. It's using all those tropes pretty well though. It's solid, it's very grounded, it knows what it's doing, and it does it pretty well. but because of it, it doesn't stand out from other series. But the deeper it gets into the story, the arcs become more and more creative, I guess, and the story starts becoming more itself, if that makes sense. So later in the series, it really picks up steam, and you really start appreciating the writing side of it. It's cool. The action scenes are awesome. The art is solid. The characters are very likable. And honestly, I know people are gonna hate me for saying this, but I don't care. I think current Black Clover is better than current My Hero Academia. I'm making those comparisons because those two are usually compared to one another since they came around the same time. Like, they came out around the same time. I know what I'm saying is gonna bother a lot of people, but trust me, if you read both and you're caught up, you would understand that Black Clover is great right now, especially right now as I'm uploading this video. Black Clover right now is so good. It's so hype. It's awesome. It's pretty charming, actually. It's great. I know it's tough to swallow for some people because, you know, the Asta meme from the anime. Just read the manga, you won't deal with that. Even though I hear that later in the anime, well, not later, but a little bit into it, they did tone down on the yelling or the Asta screams, I guess. But either way, if that really bothers you, just read the manga. It's fun. It's a very simple read, not that much dialogue, honestly. You can get through it quick. It's fun. And last but not least, the third series I caught up with is Dragon Ball Super. And this one actually surprised me because I watched Super as it was airing a few years ago and finished. I thought it was good, nothing great. It had a few great moments, but overall it was solid. It was good. It was fine. Didn't really impress me. And I knew that the manga at one point, I think a bit after the anime ended, a few months later, less than a year later, I know for sure, the tournament arc, or universe tournament arc, whatever it was called, ended. And the new arc started, the Morris arc. I don't know if that's the proper name for it. That's what I'm going to call it. And I heard that people were actually excited for it and were hyping it up a lot. Years passed. I kept putting it on the side. I never went back to it. I watched the Broly movie. It was awesome. But I heard that a few months ago, early in the year, the arc ended, the Morris arc, and a lot of people were saying good things about it, hyping it up. And I thought, you know what? Screw it. I'm gonna get it into Dragon Ball Super. I'm gonna catch up. So I picked it up from where the anime ended. Morris arc, so cool. I recommend reading it. If you're a Dragon Ball fan, if you enjoy Dragon Ball Super to any extent, you should read it. It's really cool. It's really fun. It gives off the impression that they actually put in effort to setting up the arc. I know that sounds kind of mean of me, but honestly, a lot of Dragon Ball to me feels like it was like coming out of Toriyama's head as he was writing it. He was just coming up with stuff on the spot, and that's what makes him great. That's what makes him like one of the best, right? Because he can just entertain you, and it really he planned some stuff further ahead, but it wasn't that developed, I guess, if I can call it that. But with this arc, you can tell there was time put into it. It's cool, and it's great to see I guess the power system expand a bit, because that's one of my biggest gripes with Dragon Ball. And it's cool to see that there's a lot of new, I guess, magic, as they call it, being used, and just abilities and stuff. And it expands the battle side of the story from just punching martial arts and blasting ki to a little more creativeness into it, and I really like that. I love that. So I'm glad that it's nothing crazy, it's nothing out of this world, but no pun intended, but it's cool. It's awesome to see it, and the art, honestly, solid. honestly. That was one of my fears going into it, since I know Toyotaro's drawing it. Nothing against him, of course, but since I knew it wasn't Toriyama drawing it, I was kind of worried, and that's another reason I was in the back of my head, I was putting it off. But Toyotaro was solid, honestly. So far, he's impressed. There's been some really cool, really great drawings that I really like. But yeah, like, I caught up, so I'm in the new arc with Granola, and honestly, Granola, oh my god, the cereal names, it's great. Just that alone makes it a great arc. But this new arc showing promise, it's really cool. I like it. It feels different from Dragon Ball, which I love. I'm here for it. I love when Dragon Ball takes risks, and I love it. Like I just said that, but I love it. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I feel like this was longer than I intended for it to be. Do I have yeah, this is longer than I intended for it to be. I was trying to aim for less than 10 minutes, but hey, I think I got my point across. If you stuck all the way through, I really appreciate it. Again, sorry if I seemed kind of weird. I'm kind of nervous because it's been a while, as I said, but thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.